Good morning, beloved. Peace be with you. Today in our gospel we have kind of the third part of Jesus' long instructions and sending of the 12 for the first time going out. So it's always important to keep all this together in the larger context. And interesting too, just as we know from here looking back at the story, and we know that everything he said today in the gospel didn't happen to them right away, at least on this first sending, right? He didn't send them out. They went to all these towns and they weren't getting arrested and brought before kings and governors. All this was really more like prophetic speaking that happened after his death and resurrection and ascension into heaven. So you kind of got this both present reality, future reality happening as he's speaking to them. But it's interesting. We want to remember he's telling them, sending them out to proclaim and announce the gospel, the good news. News is an event that has happened, something that has happened. Like it or not, it's a fact that something happened. And that something that happens affects present reality, but also future reality too. Things are not the same because this event happened. And the first event is simply Jesus himself coming. And he's telling us, the kingdom of God that you've been waiting for is now here. And that's the first part we have to remind ourselves. This is the first news or announcement they have to make. And so the first thing they have to begin to unite in their minds. Us too. Many times we can have a similar split reality of heaven and earth. Earth is down here and heaven's way up there somewhere. Earth is present time. Heaven is something that happens after I die. There's we can have the split reality. But listen to the news that Jesus is saying. The kingdom of heaven is here. It's on earth. That's pretty big news. So when Jesus is announcing, he's saying, this is now happening. After his death and resurrection, when the apostles announce it, they're saying, this has happened. And now everything has changed because of it, and so they're living life differently because of it. Notice what Jesus taught us in the Our Father prayer. Lord, Father, may your kingdom come, and your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So the kingdom of heaven on earth as it is in heaven. That's his mission, to make the kingdom of heaven on earth just like it is in heaven. That's what he's sending out. These scriptures, this homily is kind of difficult because I don't want to go into Sunday's homily. Sunday we get this same version of the sending, but from Mark. But it's important for us, just sticking with today's readings, important for us to realize if the kingdom of heaven is here, so is the king. If there's a kingdom here, that's implying there's another government here, another authority here, another power here. This is why he says, you will be handed over to courts, synagogues, led before governors and kings. Why else would courts, synagogues, governors, and kings care about little believers? Unless we were announcing a new ruler was here. A new authority is here. A new government is here. And if there's a government of heaven, it supersedes earth. And so if there's a new king, all the other authorities have to bow to that king. Because Jesus is King, Lord of heaven and earth. So of course they're going to say, were you trying to usurp the government? Right? In Jesus' day, in Paul's day, in the apostles' day, if Jesus is Lord, Caesar's not. Right? It's a direct threat to announce that there's a new kingdom here in town, a new Lord in town, a new king in town. Right away. What happens if you start doing that? They'll kill you. Going against the authority. This is what they were facing. This is what Jesus is announcing to them and preparing them for. What you're announcing and what you're going to do. But notice, to prove a new government is in town, to prove there's a new authority and a new power, then they're exercising, they're announcing this, and then they're exercising authority and power over sickness, disease, demons. So they're not going around trying to physically usurp, but they are rocking the world with heaven on earth. And so it's so real that people have to take them serious, because sickness is fleeing, demons are fleeing. So they have to recognize, okay, you clearly have authority and power that's backing up what you're saying, but what does this mean for me as governor, for me as the synagogue official, for me as the king? So this is going to give them opportunity to talk about Jesus. The same should be happening with us in our day. When we announce the gospel of the kingdom of heaven on earth, it should rock the world so that the world's authorities want to talk to us and say, what is this authority? What is this power that you live by, that you're exercising? And what does this mean for me? And the kingship of Jesus, we remember, starts in each one of our lives. Is he king of my life, of my mind, of my heart, of my thoughts, of my desires, of my passions? That's the first place people have to see and recognize the kingship of Jesus. Otherwise, the lip service doesn't matter. How will you exercise and demonstrate the lordship, the kingship of Jesus Christ in and over your life today?